up?
What's up, everybody? We're here at the Cherry Garage and Boeing Car Show 2022. We had a good selection of cars so far. We're only like a third of the way into the day, and we have supposed to have 100 cars in the contest, but it's going to be a big one.
I think we're just about an hour in to just the beginning of the event. The actual event doesn't start till 12, I think, before we start doing judging. So we still got an hour to go to let people fill in, but as you can see, we've got a lot of variety and a lot of cool cars here.
We got a DJ, we got food, trucks, we're serving food out of the garage. The whole garage is opened up. We're doing fish fry too. And at the end of it all, we're gonna have a huge car contest with awards from Boeing. It's gonna be sick. Check out these cars real quick. I'll show you what they got.
So we're making some videos for the event. You care to tell us about this at all?
Sure, it's a 1951 Chevrolet Bel Air Deluxe Style Line. Big mouthful, but bought it for $400 out of North Dakota, and it's running a 383, big cam, turbo hydro 350, and a rear end out of a 97 Trans Am WS6.
How long did it take you to put all that together?
4 years. It's been running this is its third event in its life, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad you could be here.
Yeah, thanks, man. What's that?
They got them like 2 months ago, right?
2 months ago, yeah. She's a handful. It's they don't call them death traps for nothing.
Right. What's your favorite thing to do in it?
Peel out.
Peel out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Does
Yeah,
it burn?
it lights them up pretty good.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, well,
I
thanks,
appreciate
man.
it. We love it.
Yeah, no problem, man. Good being down here.
What was your name, by the way?
My name's Dave.
Dave. I'm Jacob.
Nice to meet you.
I messaged
We
you.
met earlier.
Yeah,
talked
so-
to them earlier.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a great event. I'm glad to be down here. I'll come back if you guys have it again next year. All
Thanks,
right, guys.
man.
Yep, thanks.
I got a little microphone here. You want me to film you? You ask? Yeah, sure. Yeah, get in it.
Hey everybody, I'm Jake. I'm gonna do this interview instead of the other Jake because I know more about Z's. I'm Jake. What's your name? Evan. Yep. Nice to meet you. We're gonna go talk about this 400Z over here. Evan's 400Z. And real quick off the bat, how long have you owned it?
Couple months, got it Labor Day weekend.
And is this, you said, I think I talked to you about this before, this is like a one-off color, like a prototype color that they did?
Yeah, so this is considered the proto spec, so it matches their prototype car that they came out with, which I believe is a limited production. They put in 240 of them in the United States.
So this is the only option for colors?
Yeah, right now this is the only option for color.
Have you owned any other Z's?
I've actually owned pretty much every iteration of the Z except for a 370. So 240, 260, 280, both versions, the Z31 and the Z32 of the 300s, and then this one.
Now, where does this rank with the rest of your Z's? Likeness, how much you enjoy driving it, stuff like that?
Drivability wise, they finally, I mean, it still feels like a Z, but I think they've kind of really got it right. The other ones, not saying anything negative about them, but they were more of a track-based car, and this one's more of a touring, and that's kind of where I like to fit in anyway. Styling wise, the futuristic retro is, I mean, it's phenomenal. It really kind of is.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is probably the best looking Z we've had for a while. I mean, it does hark back to the older ones better than any of the 370s or 350s had. Can you tell us a little bit about the engine, what it is?
So these run the VR30 DETT, which is the same thing that's in the Infiniti Q50s and some of the Q60s. So it's a twin turbo 3-liter engine. So we should hopefully get about the same note out of this thing. Right now they didn't make it fantastic, but they kind of choked down the exhaust. It has like an 1.5 inch exhaust on it.
But is this an auto or a manual?
This happens to be an automatic. It has a 9-speed dual clutch automatic that I believe was produced by Mercedes-Benz. I am kind of a 3-pedal guy, but I don't complain about this automatic at all. It's really there, and you're always in the right gear no matter what.
Have you tracked it at all? What did it do in the quarter?
Didn't really time it. It wasn't necessarily a sanctioned quarter mile, but you know, it was pretty quick. I took a full bolt-on 370 370Z and had him by at least a car and a half. It says, according to their specs, we'll do 0 to 60 in just under 4 seconds.
Does Butt Dyno think that that's a fair assessment?
As long as it can put the power to the ground when it needs to, absolutely, yeah. They were, oddly enough, decided to integrate a G-force meter into the car, which, according to the G-force meter, on a good launch will put you at about 0.7, 0.8 Gs. So you're just under 1 G on a launch.
Yeah. Speaking of G-force, I heard that these cars were a little bit softer in the suspension tuning than the 370s and 350s before. Do you think that that's true after driving it?
Yeah, I believe for sure that it's definitely, they're a little bit softer. As I said, I think they went a little more touring, so it has that softer suspension. I'm not 100% certain how they worked on that suspension, but it will definitely hold a turn without a whole lot of body roll. I've taken it around a 25, 30 mile an hour turn at 60. You can feel it stiffen up. You don't get the body roll that you would imagine out of a softer suspension, but it definitely, just standard driving, does feel way softer than the older Zs.
Did you order this, or did you just buy it off of a dealership lot?
My story's kind of weird. I got really lucky. I was out on a business trip on the East Coast, and I walked into a dealership that just got it the day before off of the truck and said, I want to buy it. And they said, okay, sure, why not? I got lucky enough I didn't pay any kind of crazy markup that everybody seems to be paying lately. Obviously, it didn't quite pay MSRP, but it is what it is. I kind of wanted to have it. So I wasn't on any kind of list. I wasn't ordering, which I know a lot of people have kind of hated on me a little bit for, but I guess just right place, right time worked out for me.
Gotcha. Do you mind popping the hood for me?
Yeah.
I know there's probably a lot of plastic under there, but might be something to look at least. Yep, a lot of plastic, as I suspected.
Twin turbo 3-liter V6 that came out of, basically, it's an Infinity platform engine that they've just shoved it into this tiny space for Nissan.
What kind of horsepower was this rated for from factory?
From factory, they rate this at 400 horsepower at the crank. Generally puts out about 370 at the wheels. It should be about 350 pound-feet of torque.
So more than the Zs that came before it?
Oh yeah, quite a bit more than the Zs that came before.
Are you going to do wheels at any point, or just leave those the way they are?
No, so with the Proto Spec, that's so some of the features that the Proto Spec makes it individual and unique is you get the color. The Izanagi yellow color. You get the color on the calipers as well. You get the 18-inch staggered setup for the raised wheels that come in bronze. That's part of the Proto Spec, and they actually fit really well with this yellow, I think. And then, of course, the black and yellow interior, which, I mean, otherwise it's under base, it's a performance C package.
Yeah, and one last thing. We know the front end was definitely taken from the old 240s, the way they styled it. From what I've heard, I don't know if you can tell me yes or no, these taillights back here are more from a 300ZX than it is from the old 240.
Right, so a lot of the car's lines and designs were taken reminiscent of the 240. The chrome accents with the rear swooping on the side is more of a 240 style, as well as the 240 looking front. They went with the Z32, the second generation of the 300Z taillights, just because they were kind of iconic. That's what everybody really loved about the Z32 or the 300. So they brought that into the picture for the back end of this car.
I think they did a fantastic job, by the way. I think this is, like we were saying, the best looking Z we've had since the 90s. I mean, the 300ZX was a pretty good looking car, but the 350s and 370s were okay, but I think this is a much better looking vehicle than those were.
Yeah, absolutely. Nissan, in the beginning, they were fantastic. They did it right. 240s, 260s, 280s, beautiful long nose cars, very, very iconic styling. The first generation of the 300Z, the Z31 with that wedge style, was very beautiful. The second generation, I'm not as much of a fan of the styling of it, but it was still a nice looking car. And then we hit the 350s, which I think they just decided to lean on Infinity a lot and make it very Infinity stylish.
Yeah. Well, it was nice talking to you. Thank you. Evan, was it?
Yep, Evan.
Yeah, so guys, real quick, check these out. Do you like them? Let us know. This might be part of the seasonal merch for the Cherry Garage.
We might modify them a little bit. This is V1 Alpha release pre-DLC.
Anyways, so we just had the big event, the Boeing St. Louis 2022 car show, hosted right here at the Cherry Garage. Pretty big deal. I had a great time. What do you think, Keaton?
It was awesome. We had a lot of cool cars, good variety. Honestly, not as many as that we had expected, but we had a really good turnout. And we want to thank everybody that did come. We had the whole award ceremony. Super good time. Everyone's great people, good vibes. Enjoyed it all, and we learned a lot from it as well.
Yeah, it was, it had a lot of challenges and a lot of hurdles that we hadn't had to go through yet in our lives to get this all put together. Shutting the street down was quite the fiasco, but
Our first time.
we made it happen, and just a lot of little things like that, getting the logistics of it all. New challenges, but we kind of figured it out, and we're looking forward to, doing it all again, but bigger and better and more efficient.
Working with Boeing was quite an experience. It's a huge company, of course, so there's a lot of hoops to jump through with getting things figured out and paid for. On our side, we had to figure out how to close the street, and that was actually a pretty funny story. We went to City Hall, and there was a guy that controls the special events. So we had to pay him to get the application for the special event done, and then go pay for the street division to have the street closed. It got done. They actually went through with it, gave us our permit, got it done. And the permit came in handy because we had some people show up. It was parking enforcement. They weren't too happy at the end of the event because some people were doing some revving and burning out. And so I had to pull the permit out, show them. They went over it. It was a kind of a little bit of an ordeal, but they saw it was legit and they were happy with it because it was legit, but they weren't happy with all the burnouts. But hey, we had a good time. And now we know what to do in the future because there's, neighbors to respect and the laws to respect.
Yeah, so next time, guys, just wait till you're, not
Out of the
here.
area,
Just not around here,
We're here for the cars, to see the art of the
There's a
vehicles.
safer place to do it. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And
We know what cars sound like. Everyone does. We don't need to
they sounded great.
show them off. But yeah, it was, first time, awesome. This is, you had the opportunity to do it. You took it. I don't blame you. In the future, please restrain yourself. And what else is there?
The overall
shout out to all the photographers that came as well.
Yeah.
They took a lot of good footage, tagged us in all of it. Really good content that you guys made. I loved it. We both loved it. It was really cool. We what? You want me to hold it?
Yeah, well, my arm's
Oh,
dead.
okay. Really good footage. I hope the footage that we got was really good. Shout out to the guy with the drone as well. That super cool dude. Love you. And next year, look out for it. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna have some events in between that, of course, building up to it. Normal Cars and Coffee, normal meetups, nothing huge, not closing off the street for
Smaller
it.
scale stuff, but more intimate.
It'll be the annual street closure for this, and it's a good opportunity for bringing your car out, winning an award, getting good photos on the street like a classic car show, and it's awesome.
Thanks everyone.
Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We're trying to build our channel. Share this as well, and I hope to see you all. If you're watching this and you haven't came, hope you come to the next event, and don't be doing that, bro. I hope.
The worst choice of words.
I hope you attend the next
Come
event.
next time if you didn't make it this time because you missed out.
Yeah.
You'll probably be seeing this and some of the cool stuff that happened during the show, before you watch this part of the ending. But yeah, comment, like, subscribe, and come see us at the Cherry Garage sometime.
Shout out to you guys. Peace.